So thank you so much for joining today's session. What we're going to do is we're going to be looking at the new Surgery Connect features. So these additional features that we will cover in today's session are designed to reduce phone fatigue for your reception teams, whilst giving your patients more autonomy and transparency. So whether it's going to help that eliminate that morning rush on the phones or save hours of admin each week, these tools are ready for you to use right now. So what we're going to do is look at 4 main features and show you how they can be used in your surgery. So website widgets, these are customizable web pages that display live queue status on your surgery website. So patients can be unaware of the morning rush or how busy you are until they actually call in, and this can really lead to frustration. So these website widgets that display your live queue status on the surgery website can set realistic expectations before that patient even picks up the phone. So also we have voicemail transcriptions. So a transcript of the voicemail allows it to be read at a glance. So rather than listening to long rambling voicemails, and that can really take a lot of time, the voicemail transcription is where staff can identify urgent needs instantly, copy text directly, and manage high volume lines. So for example, repeat prescriptions without having to sit through minutes of audio. Now, we've also introduced additional patient callback queue position web pages. So we now offer multiple group specific web pages. So when a patient requests a callback for a specific department, for example, the content they see can now be tailored to that particular choice. So this ensures the information they receive is always relevant to their call. So currently, a generic callback page is sent to them, and it doesn't always provide the specific information that that particular patient needs for that call. So with these group specific web pages, if a patient requests a callback for a specific department, so for example, test results, then the SMS that is sent to them is tailored to that choice, ensuring the information is always relevant to their call. And then finally, we have silent monitoring. So this allows an additional user to listen to or join an active call via the phone bar. So standard users currently lack an accessible way really to initiate silent monitoring support without having to undergo a formal supervisor escalation process. So what we've done is we've introduced an invitation-based silent monitoring directly from the phone bar. So what this does, it enables seamless peer observation and supervisor listening in capabilities. So this can be used for a lot of reasons. So for example, training, additional input if required. So these are the 4 main enhanced features to Surgery Connect. So website widgets, voicemail transcription, patient callback, queue position web pages, and silent monitoring. However, in addition, by the end of May, we hope to have released the enhanced reporting features to Surgery Connect customers. So these will sit in the reports console and bring so much more to the reports themselves. So what we're going to do now is look at all of these features individually and a little bit more detail. So we're going to start with the website widget. So website widgets, as I said, are customizable digital web pages that display live queue status on the practice website. So they serve really as a digital window, allowing patients to see exactly how busy the surgery is in real time. So this means patients can choose, practices can choose, to display either total callers in the queue or the current longest wait time. or you can choose both if you would like to. So this gives real-time visibility and allows patients to make an informed choice about the best time to call the surgery. So the widgets can be filtered to show specific data for certain groups. So for example, appointments. So patients can decide between calling now or maybe later, or even using online services instead of waiting in that queue. So these widgets are fully customizable to match your surgery's existing branding. So what I'm going to do now is show you how easy it is to set up a website widget. So all you'd need to do is you would need to go into the service delivery console. So that's how you would access this website widget. Select service delivery console, and then along the top on the tabs, you would select advanced. So by selecting the advanced, you have all of the options on here. And the one that you're going to choose, is the manage queue websites widgets. So by clicking on that, what you have here is existing widgets you may have set up, and they would be listed on here. But if you want to set one up for the first time or it's new to you, then all you would do is select Create New Queue Widget. When I click on that, it shows all of the information, and you have these options of completing these particular fields. So I'm going to show you one we have done earlier, like Blue Peter, and then it will show you what we've actually filled in to each area. So if I go to this appointments widget, I'm going to just go in and show you how we have done it. So the top section and field to fill in is a widget name. This is just a name for you and your surgery to be able to identify that particular widget with. So I'm going to put it and call it an appointments widget. So this is just going to be my appointments. And then underneath, I can choose whether I'm going to display callers in the queue, or using the drop down, it could be the current longest wait. Or as I said earlier, you could use both of these on your website, but you would need to set them up separately. So I'm going to choose callers in the queue, and also across onto where it says group to display, on the drop down, all of your groups in the surgeries would be listed. So if you wanted to choose the website widget per group, then you could select it from here. Or if you wanted it as a total calls for your surgery, you select all. And now this is where you can make this widget look quite nice. So what we have here is we're looking at the font color for this widget, and it's red at the moment. You just click on the color. Let's make it green. So I'm going to choose green, and you can see now that all of the font has turned green. I can choose font size by the slider on here. All right, so that changes the font size. And I also at this stage can choose how I want that widget to look. Do I want it to be more angular? And if I go along, you can see it's gone more square. Or again, if I slide, I can make it look more rounded. So it's now just making it look good for your website. Then over on the right-hand side, I can choose the color of the people icon. I've got green, so I'm going to now make it pink. All right, pinky purple. So these bright colors can make it stand out on your website as well. So again, I can change and increase and decrease the size of the icon. And finally, making it look is the frame you have the option of. You can have a no frame. You can see that makes it really just blend in a little bit. A shadow border, or I can choose again a border to go around it, and again I can choose the color. So once I've done all of this and I'm happy with it, I can save the change to the widget. So I just click on Save Changes. It shows you up here that those changes have been saved. And then on the right-hand side here, I have a code which I can copy. And all you would need to do is copy that code, and then it pastes it into your website's editor. And then that will allow the widget to be used on your website. So nice and easy for you to use. So what I'm going to do now is just go back and show and talk about where these website widgets can actually go. It's quite a mouthful, actually. So the website widget on here. So the benefit of the widget only works if the patient sees it before they feel the frustration of waiting in a long queue. So therefore, this widget really needs to be front and center. So ideally placed in a prominent location where a patient's eyes naturally land when they're looking for any help on the website. So the home page really would be perfect for a widget to sit, at least one of them anyway. So if a patient has to hunt through sub-menus to find the queue length, then maybe you lose the opportunity to manage any of their expectations on there. So we think a good place to put this widget is near the contact us icon or request an appointment link, somewhere like that. So this ensures the patient sees the live wait time or the queue length exactly at the time they're deciding whether to call the surgery or maybe use an alternative online service. So with regard to the website widgets, we also have call queue widgets. So these call queue widgets are not just available to practices using Surgery Connect, but also to those using Surgery Assist. So they have the same functionality as a website widget and can be implemented within your practice's digital assistant interface. So this widget manages patients' expectations by providing telephony visibility within that digital chat stream. So what again, it's helping callers decide whether to remain on the phone or proceed with an alternative digital option. So setting up the call queue widget is very similar to setting up the website widget that we looked at just now. But the copied URL is pasted into the bot settings in the Surgery Assist portal rather than into the surgery website. And also, if any changes are made on the delivery service delivery console, it automatically updates in the Surgery Assist digital assistant. Now, we do have some resources for you to look at, and these include guides and information on Surgery Connect and Surgery Assist, and in addition, a case study using the website widgets. Now, all of these links are going to be put into the chat by my colleague. If you have any questions about anything we're speaking about, please just pop any questions into the Q&A section. And again, my colleague's on hand to answer any questions that you may have. Now, what we're going to do is look at the second feature is the voicemail transcription. So following the introduction of voicemails to the communications window, we are adding a transcription feature. So this allows users to check the content of voicemail without having to even listen to the whole message. And they can easily then copy the content of the message to the clipboard. So the advanced speech recognition converts the spoken word into written text, which is then displayed directly in your communications window. So this feature is totally revolutionizing, really, how you can manage voicemails. So by quickly scanning the transcription, staff can prioritize urgent requests, they can identify key information, and also save time previously spent listening to that entire voicemail. Now, the benefits really are reducing time spent listening to that whole voicemail, as I say. It can be a quicker identification of patients. It's an additional accessible option for patients to contact the practice because these voicemail options can also be configured outside of normal surgery hours. You also have a faster processing of the requests as you don't have to listen to every voicemail. And then these transcriptions are much easier to share now because you're able to obviously copy to the clipboard. They're also more accessible for those that are hard of hearing and are preferable to recordings for adding to patient records. So what I'm going to do now is just show you on my phone bar exactly how you can see the voicemail transcription. Now, as I said, we have the communications window, which we then have now introduced voicemail into. But now with the voicemail transcription, this is also where you can access that. So you'll notice on my communications window, I have a little orange notification dot, and it has the number 2 in it. So if I click on the communications window, it opens the communications window up, and I can see that the orange dot is a notification about voicemail. So if I select that, I have the option of a user voicemail or a group voicemail. And I can see that the group voicemail is where I have my notifications. So all I need to do is click on one of those and open that communication up. And what you will see is the information you would normally have with your voicemail and the recording. So if you press play, you can listen to that voicemail. But now with this voicemail transcription, you can see it. So this is where it will really help all of you who have voicemails coming into the surgery. So what it's done is transcribed the voicemail itself. You can copy that voicemail to the clipboard and paste it wherever you need to, for example, patient records. And then once you've listened to it, you have the choice of either saving it or deleting it. So you can see how easy it is to listen to those transcriptions and how easy it is to be advised of one on your communications window. Again, we have resources regarding the voicemail feature, and they will be put in the chat again with a case study we have of a surgery using the voicemail transcription. So that's really worth having a look at. Now, what I'm going to do is go through now the patient callback queue position webpage. So currently, when a patient requests a callback from the practice, a free of charge SMS is sent to the patient with a link taking them to a web page. So this SMS confirms the callback and also shows the caller moving up the queue. So therefore, it prepares them for when to expect a call back from the surgery. But what we've done now is we've introduced the ability to configure multiple queue position web pages across a service, which means that web pages can now be tailored for individual groups. And then for services with multiple sites, it also means that the link to these web pages can be tailored to be site specific. So previously, as I say, it's only been able to configure a single web page for the entire service. So this meant that all groups using the queue position feature had only one web page available to them. So this enhancement solves all of this really. It allows the information displayed on the queue position web page to be tailored to the specific group that the callback was booked for. So that really does make a difference for the detail that a patient could receive. Now, this enhancement allows for the display of more relevant information to patients by tailoring the queue position web page content based on the group the callback was booked for. So, for example, appointments or prescriptions. So also this feature contributes to increasing the efficiency of the call flow, and it also helps utilize other Surgery Connect features. Now, services with multiple practices can create web page with site-specific information, as I said. So this increases the relevance of the information provided to the patient. So what I'm going to do now is show you how you can set up a new enhanced patient callback queue position web page. So as before, we can then go on to the service delivery console. All right, and we do select the advanced tab again. So by selecting the advanced tab, instead of the website widgets, what we're going to look at now is the patient callback. So again, click on the manage patient callback. It brings up a list of existing web pages you may well have configured. If you want to create a new web page like before, you go back and all of those options need to be completed. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back into one that was done earlier, a prescription web page. And you'll notice now all of the fields on here have been completed. So what you need to do is for your own record and information at the surgery is just to give that web page a name. So if it's prescription group, you might want to just call it prescriptions. The surgery name, you put your surgery name in because that is the surgery that the patients will see on the SMS sent to them. And again, the next one is title, and that is the relevant title for the information that you're going to be given. So if you're doing prescription information, then that will be the header. Now, any information you want to add into that SMS can go into this section on here. You can even add links into this SMS. Now, once you're happy with the information you have on, you can select preview. And what will happen is you'll see your SMS exactly as it's going to be sent to that patient. So on here, you can see the surgery name. You can see the position they are in the queue as before, and then that counts down to where their position is in the queue. They have the option of cancelling the callback should they need to. But in addition to that, they now have information relative to the queue that they are in. So in this case, it's the prescription queue. All right. So when you're happy with that preview, all you need to do is save it, and then it can be used in your Xflow. All right, so it's easy again to set up that queue position web page, and you can set up as many as you would like to do with the queues that you have on your Xflow. So again, we have got some resources for you to look at and information guides. And again, we have a case study on streamlining patient navigation through your Xflow. And those links are going to be put on by my colleague. Now, what we're going to look at is our improved silent monitoring feature. And this is accessed now directly from the phone bar. So it makes it so much easier than ever to support staff in their training and also maintaining your quality standards. So silent monitoring has been added as a new in-call feature, and it's part of the 8.6.5 version release of the phone bar. So that's the phone bar that this feature will be on. So it allows an additional user to listen to or join an active call via the phone bar. So by invitation or by listening in. And that's where a supervisor can silently monitor an active call without notifying either participant on the call. So this can be used for training, medical students listening to calls, and additional input when required, or even to just listen to known difficult callers. So benefits of silent monitoring, it's where trainees can listen to experienced staff members call, so they're learning how to handle patient calls. It reduces pressure on the staff because they have additional knowledge, they feel less stressful, so it can decrease staff turnover. Also, it's an instant way of training people because you'll realise where their knowledge gaps may be. And it also can instantly support staff if they have an aggressive or a complex patient call, and it can ensure safety and correct handling. And of course, it provides a tangible method for demonstrating ongoing staff supervision and also quality of care. And I know this is a key component of the CQC assessments. So what I'm now going to do is show you this feature. I'm going to demonstrate it to you. My colleague is going to work with me on this, and we'll demonstrate silent monitoring by both invitation and silent monitoring where I can listen in. So as I said to you earlier, it is by the phone bar. So what I'm going to do is put myself on a call. All right, on here via the phone bar. So this is going to be familiar to you. So I'll just wait for this call to come through. Perfect. There we go. It's always a delay for me. There we go. So what we have here is I'm on a call now to a caller and it is difficult. All right. So what I would like to do is invite my supervisor to come and help me on this call. So when I am now on an active call on this phone bar, you'll see this is the silent monitoring call feature. So all I would need to do to invite my supervisor, for example, to come and help is select the silent monitoring feature. The person I would like to join me is Joe Grant. So anyone who's available will have a headset icon next to their name. To invite them, I just select that. It's inviting Joe Grant. I send the invite and that person now receives an invite to join my call. It shows me that Joe Grant has joined the call. All right. And now, as you can see, that the silent monitoring icon has turned orange. So I know that that supervisor is listening into the call. Now, they can just listen into the call and they can join me in that call, and I'll show you that later. But that what they can do is join the call to just speak to me and advise me on the call, but they can also speak to the caller should they need to. So that's the advantage of being able to call a supervisor into a difficult call. Now, what I'm going to show also is that I can silently monitor by listening into a call. So the person, your colleague, will not know you're listening in. This is something a supervisor is able to do. So that person would need to be on the call. So what I'd do is I'd go into the directory. I'd look to see if that person's on a call, and they are. So I can join that call by again selecting the headset feature. So by clicking on that, what it's doing, it's asking me, do I want to join that call? So I select the green tick because yes, I do. And I'm now in listening to that call. If you select the silent monitoring feature again, what it will show you is I can listen to the agent, so listen to my colleague, and I can listen to the caller. Both of them are on mute automatically by default. But if I wanted to speak to my colleague, I could just unmute it and say whatever information that that colleague might want to hear or be advised by, or if the patient's difficult, I can just select the caller and I'm now speaking to the caller as well. So this is the option if I would like to listen to them anonymously so they don't know I'm listening, or alternatively, I can select to speak to either of them by just unmuting myself. So this is how you can do silent monitoring by invitation or just listening in for maybe training purposes. So again, the resources for this, my colleague will put in the chat for you. Now, we're looking at reporting. I spoke about it earlier that we are looking to have new reporting. So the enhanced Power BI reporting, we hope to have released the new reporting to everyone by the end of May. So we're introducing new telephony reports by using Power BI and BigQuery. So this release will include a refresh of all reports and dashboards, as well as some enhancements to the data itself. So this will also mean reports will be in one place for Surgery Connect customers. So moving to Power BI has enabled us to make changes automatically without having to refresh the links each time. So this saves a lot of admin work and making it easier for you to access your reports. So these enhanced reports will bring benefits to you. So the visual data has been improved on the reports, and advanced filtering has also been implemented. So staffing insights give a more granular view of how staff are managing their time. And also the SMS reports now offer segment tracking, which means the practice can now accurately view SMS costings. So also we're going to look at surgery intellect reporting. Again, new reporting accessible on the report console. So The surgery intellect is our ambient scribe, transcribes the clinician's consultations for them using AI technology. So the new surgery report shown here demonstrates how intellect is actively improving surgery efficiency and clinician experience through the rich data insights. So this particular report, as I say, can be accessed via the reports console. So what you see here is just one of the surgery intellect reporting pages. So this overview page of the surgery intellect report is organized into 4 key areas to provide high-level summaries and granular audit data. So up here you can select the date range you would like to look at, and it then shows the estimated time saved by using surgery intellect in that period. It also shows the top 10 users of surgery intellect, so you can see who's actually using surgery intellect. You can also see the method of the intellect and how it's being used. So for example, has it been used for telephone consultations, or was it face-to-face consultations, etc.? So you can see that information on here. And finally, there's a usage tree. So this summarizes how surgery intellect has been used, so you can see the total clinical notes, medical codes, and letters generated. But also, coming soon, we'll also have the Omni consultation report. Again, we're going to send you some guides to help with intellect reports, telephony reports, and also the Omni consultation reporting, which it will be available soon. So we have now come to the end of this webinar, and I would really like to thank you all for attending today. So before we finish this session, if anyone would like any further information or even a short meeting on how to set up or use these enhanced features, just please let us know. You can contact your regional CSA and we will sort that out for you. In the next couple of days, we'll be sending out this webinar to you. It has been recorded, and so therefore you're able to look back on the recording once it's been sent back to you. But what I'd like to do is thank you again for attending, and goodbye.